Hollywood studios are set to get a major tax break that they've been asking for. California Governor Gavin Newsom again expected to sign this bill that will give productions refundable tax credits until the year 2030 and to keep them in the Golden State. The legislation extends the state's film and television tax credit to $330 million per year. To receive the incentive, the bill requires productions to follow a new set of safety rules, including hiring a safety advisor to perform a risk assessment and be on set during filming, require additional firearms training for prop masters and armorers and have a special state permit, and adds incentives to meet diversity targets and make sets more inclusive. Demands for the new safety rules have ramped up since the deadly shooting on the Rust movie set in New Mexico. Here to talk more about this, senior editor, legal and TV critic for Deadline Hollywood, Dominic Patten. Dominic, thank you for being here. Is this a win-win for Hollywood studios and also the workers who take part in these productions?
Well, I mean, I would say, Marni, anything like this, let's just wait. The governor hasn't signed the budget yet. I mean, we're looking at a $310.8 billion state budget for California. This $330 million a year, relatively small in terms of that. But California, since 2014, has been upping its movie game, which you would expect from the home of Hollywood, to compete with the likes of New York State, Georgia, and of course, Canada, which have very lucrative tax credit programs and incentive programs. This refundable package really allows the studios to really enhance their take out of the California coffers. Previously, big budget films weren't even allowed to be eligible for the program. That changed in 2014. This now will be a great incentive for studios because it essentially makes this an almost risk-free proposition for them, at least in terms of the refunds.
Right, and keeps them in California, which is the concern with some of the competition out there.
Of course. The biggest competition, of course, being New York, which for obvious reasons, but also the state of Georgia, which has been a massive, massive foundation for movie making over the past 15 years with huge incentives that they hand out, which is why many Marvel movies, many big budget movies, many television shows continue to be made there. California has been trying since 2014 as one of their leading propositions of this new tax incentive program. One of their things is relocated series, relocated movies. They're hoping that with this refund, which basically allows the studios to get millions from the state if their costs exceed their tax bills, that will be a further incentive to get them back. But of course, part of the element too is, and this often gets forgotten among this, in the wrangling up in Sacramento about this, is there is increasingly, after a post-COVID situation, a lot of people don't want to travel so far. So to keep people in California is a lot easier for A-listed talent, we find.
So what do you make of the safety stipulations, given what we saw on the Rust movie set that is still being investigated? Is that enough for workers to feel confident about the work they're doing and safety on production sets?
Well, listen, regardless of Rust, people should always feel safe on sets. There are already regulations and enforcements in place for that sort of thing. A lot of this, I don't want to call it window dressing. Does it address some of the major problems? Well, I would say the major problems are things like guns on set. After the horrible tragedy of Rust, which, as you mentioned, is still going through the courts, The Rock, for instance, one of the biggest movie stars in the world, said he would not be using real guns and real bullets on his sets anymore. That's a major thing to do. CGI and other technologies allow us to fake that, so to speak. These safety regulations, I would say, increase what is already there. The additional safety training, the fact that there needs to be a coordinator to actually come and look. Now, that coordinator would now come and look, I guess, in conjunction with stunt coordinators, armorers, and other safety officials who are already on sets. But certainly, there can be nothing wrong with adding another layer of safety. The reality is how will that actually be implemented? And of course, we're not going to get a real sense of that until the governor actually signs the bill. It becomes law. It becomes part of what people need to do. And then, of course, we're going to see how this actually works. We know that the guilds and unions in Hollywood have been advocating for this for a while. Let's see what happens when the rubber hits the road.
Dominic, I'm going to put you on the spot, and you're going to have to be quick with your answer because I'm all up against a commercial break. But Ryan Seacrest has now been named, we're hearing, the new host of Wheel of Fortune. Your reaction to that?
Spin the wheel. I mean, Ryan Seacrest has been the host of every show so far. This just makes another one on his trophy cabinet. It'll work out fine. Bye-bye, Mr. Sajak. It's been nice.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.